Hello, Viviana. Thank you for being
Hi,
with me today.
thank you.
Yes. So everyone, I want to introduce you to another one of our new trainers who we've been talking to you a little bit about over the last few or several weeks, Viviana Triana. Thank you so much for taking a few moments to chat with me and everyone in our network about who you are and what you're up to and some things that folks can learn about you as they prepare to potentially take a training with you. So will you just take a couple of moments to introduce yourself to everyone and just let us know a little bit about the work that you're doing?
Yeah, thank you for this time. I'm super excited to be a part of the team. I am Viviana, and I am originally from Colombia, South America. I have primarily done work in Texas. So I'm in Texas now, Dallas, Texas, working with community agencies. So nonprofit world, that has been my world since I have done clinical practice. So I'm a licensed clinical social work supervisor and EMDR consultant, and also an EMDR basic training provider. So a little bit of where I'm at today. So I do work for a nonprofit, local nonprofit in Dallas, and called Youth 180. And what we do, we serve young people and their families who are experiencing mental health and also substance misuse issues. I am the clinical director, so I do a lot of the program development, but I also do the clinical practice as well. That's something that it's a passion of mine. And I don't think even if I'm doing admin work, I can stay away from it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a very unique position in the sense that I get to work with the clients and also support clinicians as they do their work. And we do a lot of these protocols in our agency. They have been very effective and efficient. So I'm super excited that I get to take the work that I have done in clinical practice and in supervision and being able to integrate that into training others to do the work that I love to do. So I have two kids, so that's personal life,
Mm-hmm.
5-year-old and 11-year-old. So they keep me busy as well. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. We know how much passion and dedication you have to your community and the work that you do. And we love talking with you about that because it's just so contagious. So, so we have a couple of questions I just want to ask so folks can get to know a little bit about you. The first question is, what do you want people to know about your training style?
Mhm. Yeah, so I would like to this is my approach, but also my intent always for people to create a comfortable and safe environment for learning. There is no question that is the wrong question to ask. There is not the wrong comment to ask. All of us are learning, and as I'm doing trainings, I'm also learning as well from participants. So I want to create a community of learning and learners. For me, that's very important that everyone feels like they can learn and they can ask questions, they can participate in the process without feeling, a little bit uncomfortable, which it happens in trainings, right? That you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I don't want to raise my hand. I don't know if I should ask this question. There is not such a thing as like, I don't know about that. I want people to feel like it's okay to do that because that's how learning starts. The other piece about my training style is that I like to incorporate field knowledge into the training so that is practical. These protocols are super practical, like you can take them and practice them next day. And because I have had, fortunately, the experience of working with different population groups and different ages using these protocols, I want people to get some exposure to what that looks like. And if that's their interest, being able to kind of integrate, how do I take this into my practice, and having the practicality of the work. And lastly, I like to encourage, but also challenge. I think though that's part of learning. It's important to create that good, safe environment for learning, but it's important to feel challenged in our learning. And I like to be able to balance that well for the people that I'm teaching or supervising, so that they feel like, okay, wow, I had not seen this before, and okay, I'm feeling a little stretched here. Okay, but that's a good thing. That's how we learn. And
Hmm.
I like to balance both, the encouragement and the support at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's really important balance too. Being comfortable enough to ask questions, and then having the opportunity to be challenged and stretch your thinking and maybe attempt to understand something from a different perspective that you didn't have before. So I love that. What are some other things that people can expect of their learning or training experience with you? So the overall experience in whichever training that they sign up for, that you are facilitating. What can they expect of the overall experience?
Well, hopefully fun and engaging. Part of my experience too in teaching and training is the work with, Spanish speaking, clinicians,
Hmm.
or clinicians who work with the Spanish speaking community in the United States. So, one thing that I love to do is to provide some guidance on that and some support, even do some
Hmm.
Spanish, trainings, for those who need that support. Me being, first language Spanish and having to translate and having to work with both languages, I see that there is a need for that. And, hopefully, I would like to support also clinicians who find themselves, struggling some, because, there might be the only Spanish speaking clinician in their area, and they're having to kind of integrate some of the work in with the clients and translate. And we don't have to do this with this training. We have the materials ready and available in Spanish, and it can be taught in Spanish, because, it makes a huge difference when you speak both languages and you're working with both, population groups. So
Hmm.
that thing that it's important, and it's a passion of mine. And, I would love to be able to support, clinicians who are bilingual in, learning these protocols and carrying them out with their clients as well.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's really important, especially because there's so much around language that connects to many aspects of culture too. It's not just a series of words we're using, but they carry different meaning and significance. So I think that could be really helpful for folks who are working with people who are um, native Spanish speakers, or working with folks who are, because there's a lot um, of connection that can be created. So I
Mhm.
think that's lovely. What do you hope your training participants will feel upon completion of trainings with you?
Mhm. Yeah, I have had this experience before when I'm learning something, where sometimes you learn something from right here, prefrontal cortex, right? And it
Hmm.
have the knowledge and you have integrated the information, but it makes a huge difference, at least for me, when I'm able to learn it from bottom up. Like my
Hmm.
body understands the information. And I had this experience, the first time that I went to, Mexico, and took, a training with Dr. Herrero and his
Hmm.
team. And I was like, oh, I have done EMDR for a while. I have been in practice. I was an approved consultant, but, for instance, learning it in Spanish or listening to the information in a different way, I got it in my body,
Hmm.
and it feels different. So I would like for people to not only know it in their heads and understand the procedures, but feel the protocols, feel the information, because it becomes more natural. It translates better. I'm not talking about a language, but I'm talking about in the practice with our clients, because you understand them and you feel them. So there are a couple of experiential pieces of the training that we do that I love to do, and I love people to have the opportunity to really feel the protocols, not only think about them. So that's what I'm hoping for participants to feel like, I got it, but
Yeah.
not up here. But it's like, I know this. It's like light bulbs, right? It's like,
Hmm.
okay, this makes sense, and I'm ready to do this.
Yeah, yeah, they can feel it with their whole selves, their mind and their body and everything else. So that's, yeah, that's great. Um, let's let's end this on one kind of unique question. What are two things that are bringing you joy right now?
Yeah, so I sure I have two kids, and because one of them is 5, the kindergarten, the other one is just starting middle school, there is a difference between their way they think and interact with each other. So right now, both of them are in a unique stage of development and growth. So one thing right now that is bringing me joy is hearing them kind of integrate certain information, like, it's like those aha moments. Like for my daughter right now, it's like, oh, I didn't know that, and she has this different I don't know what happens to middle schoolers, but it's like or what happens in middle school, because she's coming every day with like, oh, I heard this, or like, I was thinking, and then, this made me think about this. So kind of seeing her thought process.
Hmm.
And also with my son in kindergarten, it's like, he's like also being like a little sponge. So
Yeah.
I'm having such a good time kind of
Hmm.
seeing the contrast too.
Yeah.
And with my daughter also interacting with my son. So that is just like in a stage of life that I'm in right now, and I'm enjoying it. Sometimes can be a little problematic too, because of the same thing. They're so
Yeah.
different in age and perspectives, but it's fun.
Hmm. Oh, that's lovely.
I think you asked one or two, but that's one.
Yeah.
Another thing is also in the stage of life and professional life, because I'm also dancing in the dance of clinician and also trainer and supervisor. At the same token, on the other side, I see it from the perspective of supervising and teaching people. It's the
Hmm.
same levels, right? That
Yeah.
really brings so much joy when they're like, oh, so this is why, or they take the information and they apply it with the client, and they come back and it's like, I saw it.
Hmm.
I Now I know why this happens, or I was able to do this, and this is what happened with my client, and it's the light bulb. It's like, wow, like I didn't pick up on this before, but now I do.
Hmm.
So it's like a lot of learning as far as with my family, but also with others. So that is just the stage of life where I'm at right now, and it's I'm enjoying it a lot.
Oh, thank you for sharing your joy with us as well. I really appreciated spending these few moments together with you, Viviana. And for everyone who is interested in taking a training with Viviana, she is facilitating 2 different trainings through Scaling Up. And one of them is a virtual EMDR basic training. And another one is our advanced specialty application workshop, which is the EMDR therapy protocols for early intervention and ongoing traumatic stress. So please pop on over to our website, which is scalingupemdr.com, and search through and find the next training that Viviana has coming up. And as always, feel free to send us a message if you have any questions. Thank you again, Viviana.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.